always skirted on that like limit of, okay, I'm there, okay, I'm there. I was right there. But I missed. Did I miss? Oh, that's what I missed. And then it happens. These haters, they know who you are, but you don't know them. There's a reason behind that. You've done something amazing. They've done nothing. Every reason why they hate you. That's right. Where you going? What do you want to do with your life, bro?
For those people that are out there, in whatever window they're in right now, I think they're so crippled by what they confront.
It took a lot for me to be a man. It's the hardest thing, man, a person can ever do in the world. Man, real dude. From working out, to eating, to family, and doing all this shit. You ain't happy.
Correct.
A lot. So all this people are talking about, oh man, I ain't happy about it. Right? I ain't supposed to be. So when you live that way, and people know you ain't been lying, and they saw all the work you put in, it makes the motherfuckers feel an alpha. Makes an alpha feel a little bit weird around you. So after a while, when you exceed the standards of the military, exceed the standards of Navy SEALs, and you're constantly going to this direction, some fat, dumb black dude can swim. Now you exceed the standard, starts to rub some people the wrong way. And I've been telling people about it. Not like talking to them, but we gotta be better. Like I talked to that ranger back there.
Yeah, sure did.
We are, that's what we gotta do. I don't know what you went through. I don't know what you're going through. I didn't wear the shoes you wore when you were a kid. I didn't grow up in your dumb house. I didn't have your dumb family. I don't know about you. Guess what I do? Shut up. Because real men don't say shh. Because first of all, we're too busy trying to grind better. Second of all, unless we know, we start to look around and see. All I want to do is retire my mother when I get old. That's all I want to do. I believe in self-discipline, self-pride, self-motivation. No one has that self anymore. That self is gone. So that driving force that tells you, I have to do this shit. I took great pride in the fact that I was nobody. And when you just described goosebumps on me, because that's exactly what I took pride in. Man, you put the effort in, you put the work in. As a man, we don't want none of that. We just want respect. And that's what men don't give a fuck about now. But the one thing I want is for my family to look at me and say, that's the man. Right there.
Let it hurt.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with hurting.
No.
Let it hurt.
Necessary.
It's very necessary.
And I wanted to be bodybuilder, and I realized at 6'4", it's not going to work for bodybuilding. It's Olympia, because everybody's 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", maybe 5'11", Ronnie Coleman. The 6'4" days are behind us, even with and that height. And then when I got into sales, and everybody was a fan, and I started competing, still a little bit fan, but when I started insurance, started going into market share really, then a lot of those people that were fans, it's undermined. I said, we have it. This is how it works. You can't be this naive. You can't be this innocent. Competition's out there. They kind of go out there and take market share from others who want to get bigger. You can't expect people to sit there and like everything. That's not how it was. You got to treat your enemies wisely.
The biggest obstacle we have to overcome is out there, and many times the call is coming from inside of our own house. I think that the worst enemy that many people have is the voice that's inside of their own head.
Losing years of maybe you love the wrong person, maybe they don't love you in return as much as you love them, maybe you're going to give more than they're going to give you, maybe a betrayal, maybe it's an act, maybe it's just good for the season, maybe they're going to change their minds if they really find out what's wrong. There's a lot of risk to love, but why do we love? You know, it's a very unique relationship. That risk is exhilarating, it's exciting, you know, maintaining it, it's a lot of work, it's not easy. It's why nowadays most people don't want to get married. Nowadays there's a movement of I don't want to get involved to getting married. I don't want to have kids. It's too risky. I want to live for myself. I don't want to have the responsibilities. I don't want to be heartbroken. Okay, wait. And then you realize the risk of loving is worth it. I can't imagine living a life without having a roof.
When you're on the way up, everyone of their dreams when you're at the top. Everyone tries to tear you down because you're what's available.
When I detail oriented, we gotta be looking up right now on the podcast, trust, we'll compete with everybody. You have a vision, maybe some of it we know, probably all of it we don't know. Okay, some of it's kept you to the smile, tell the story right now. You're a perfect example. It is a battle your entire life trying to win this person over. You're never going to do it. It's not going to happen. But you need that person as well. Most people chose the wrong enemies. The enemies they've chosen is about being entitled, is about being victims, about feeling sorry for themselves. And it's destroyed them, stolen years away from their lives.
I'm scared that I'm not enough. I believe that I can do more.
Yeah.
I have the impulse control to be able to keep me focused and keep me moving forward.
Everything you're doing, for the most part, 95% of it can be replicated by somebody else. But the 5% is your wit, is your interest, is your curiosity. Either the person has it or they don't have it, right? Okay. So, yes, I can pick up those skills, but do I have your willpower? That's emotion. Yes, I can go study the competition. Like you said, top podcast is out there what they're doing. What is the category? Politics or business or sports? Yes, but enemies fail. Study competition all around. But enemies come with different criteria that you're talking about. You can hold money in the world. Fantastic. That's fine. That's money. It's money. There's money because that raise money. The moral of the story is one is logic, the other one is emotion. Emotion brings out a different set. If it can be controlled madness, controlled emotion, it's going to go into a different gear that a normal person's not going to have. It's very easy to criticize a guy like you who wants to compete. And maybe he told you don't want to compete, you want to dominate. Maybe he told you show everybody, no, I want to be number one. Let's just say within his profession, you want to do this. Totally cool. But there's a lot of other competitors out there that have their podcasts, and they're doing a good job. It's just a different mindset when you have that enemy. Only one person has to come look at me face to face and say, you do a job I can't do. Come back and help us. Think about the individual has to be. Like you have to also retrain yourself as you're going through this. The same enemy that drives you when you're 22 years old, not driving the enemy to yourself, or else you haven't matured. You should also come enemy. And then 32, something else you're driving at 40, and 58, and 63, and 75. But you are going to have those love affairs with those enemies. Let's say love affair. You had an affair with this enemy over an 8-year span, over a 13-year span, over a 6-year span, over a 6-month span. But, you know, there is truth in the idea of you still being driven by that enemy. 18 years after you beat that enemy, 13 years after you beat that enemy. You chose men as being the enemy. 40 years later, 50 years later, you're 65 years old, single, not married, no kids. You're living in an apartment or a condo with a dog or a cat. That's all you ever talk about. And you're lonely, and you're sitting there saying, I was wrong. Men are not the enemy. But guess what? That movement stole 50 years of your life. You know how painful that is? Your best allies are parents. You're losing parents who have been watching this for years. You're losing the people that this is a legacy product. Whatever is too easy to come, you devalue, you don't value them, right? You watch people, you watch values, principles, you watch how they treat people, you watch how people treat them, you watch how people respond to them, you watch how they are powerful people, you watch how they are the regular, average, day-to-day people. Today it's not the cars, the manuals, the Ferraris, the houses, all that stuff. Although I'm a capitalist, and I love all that stuff. But I like that stuff because different reasons. I enjoy the game. I'm a kid. I'm turning 45 tomorrow. I'm 44 today for the last day. Tomorrow I'll be 45. But there's an element of childlike stuff that brings out the 14-year-old kid. When I look at a baseball card, I'm a kid. When I look at a baseball card, the average person like, who cares about baseball cards? That's a different element. But the relationships, the way we treat people, values and principles, what they value, you look for those types of things. And eventually enough will be revealed the more you pay attention. Just because something is hard to obtain doesn't mean it's valuable. Correct. I realize not everybody is driven by the same thing. All I care about, that's something that drives you. There is no book you can read to be that. You can read 48 Laws of Power 100 times. You can't do that. You either are that guy or you're not that guy. When you're winning, everybody's telling you how amazing you're playing. my God, let me tell you, dude, you know what? You're the best. You're amazing. You know, you're just better than that guy, and you're better than this guy. And it always takes me back to that quote of Marcus Aurelius, who had a slave that would sit behind him and always whisper to him, hey, you're just a man, you're just a man, you're just a man. That's right, 40 laws of power, right? You're just a man, you're just a man, you're just a man. And he would get up, and he became the best emperor, 60 to 80 to 69, whatever the time is. And he becomes who he becomes. And we read about him now. And when you're losing, everybody tells you, I told you shouldn't have done that. I knew you weren't going to make it. Guys, I told you it wasn't for you. You weren't that guy. And you believe that as well. When you're winning, don't believe the hype. When you're losing, don't believe the hype. Every story, even your own side is saying, why don't you be skeptical a little bit, question it for yourself and see if you can entertain both ideas. You have to take a risk, whether you want to go to the audience is leading on you to see how you will assess this issue, and they trust the way you reason. People are looking to see how a reasonable person like you that can give a logical perspective, because that's what's missing today. This is very hard, and the market has proven that this isn't for everybody. The market has proven you cannot keep my attention for that long. This is very, very difficult.
You have worked so hard to be able to give your kids opportunities that you never had. And yet, you know that they need to go through the hardships, and that those are where the lessons are learned.
What is always do? How to talk to them.
What type of life do you want?
That's not even too short, kind of like.
Okay, so what does this mean?
Okay,
Do you want to
one
be a founder? Yeah, you should.
store.
Yeah. I think so. It's kind of cool. I want to be an entrepreneur. You sure you want to be a founder? You sure you want to be the number one guy? Some people don't go make money. Some people Klaus Schwab, they're like, no, I'm not going to go make money to get power. I'm going to get power by creating laws and thinking I know what's best for you.
Do people love you for who you are, or for what you do? This is uncomfortable to consider. People loving us for who we are feels more real, genuine, caring, empathetic, and robust. It feels like we're less fickle and more difficult to lose. On the other hand, people loving us for what we do feels transactional, or transient. The love that we receive becomes contingent on what achievements and successes we can offer in return. And the obvious fear is that if a point came where we no longer had anything to offer in return, would that love be taken away? So here's an even more uncomfortable question. Do you love you for who you are, or for what you do? This highlights our hypocrisy. You see, we want the world to love us for who we are, a balanced, caring view of our true value, independent of our accomplishments. Meanwhile, our own self-love is largely determined by what we do. If we fall short, even though we know we tried our best, we still castigate ourselves for being insufficient, unworthy creatures. So we want the world to show up for us in a way we are often not prepared to show up for ourselves. You demand more than this. Demand it of yourself.
Life is so difficult and challenging that unless you give it everything you have, the chances are very high that it will bitter you, and then you'll be a force for darkness. And so, you know, the fact that life is short and can be brutal can terrify you into hiding and avoiding. But it can also, you can flip that on its head and understand that since you're all in anyways, you might as well take the risks that are adventurous. And that's a very good thing to understand. And what is also useful to understand in that manner is that there isn't anything more adventurous than the truth. You can craft your words to get what you want. You know, people do that all the time. They craft their words so they can avoid taking responsibility for things they should take responsibility for. Or they can craft their words to gain an advantage that they really don't deserve. That's what you do when you manipulate. And the problem with that, you might say, well, why not do that if I get what I want? And the answer to that is, you aren't necessarily the best judge of what you need. And it's easy to be deluded in what you want. That's the sort of delusions that people chase if they chase power. If you decide instead that you're going to just say what you believe to be true, you have to let go of the consequences. And you might think, well, I don't want to let go of the consequences because I want to control what's going on. But what you miss then is adventure, because if you don't control what's going on, you don't know what the hell's going to happen. And maybe that's exciting, and actually there's no doubt about it. And then you have the additional advantage if you're attempting to say what you believe to be true and attempting to act in the manner that you think is most appropriate. That's genuinely you. And you have the force of reality behind you. If you hide and you don't let what's inside of you out, and you don't bring into the world what you could bring, and you become cynical and bitter, you will start doing very dark things. So you start, not only will you not add to the world what you could add, but you'll start being jealous of people who are competent and doing well and work to destroy them. People start out naive. Naive people are optimistic, but not really. They're just naive. And naive people. It's the only thing you can do. That's the only thing you can practice for the unchosen suffering. It's that chosen suffering. Do something that sucks every day. And you know exactly what to do. Exactly what to do. Because even me, in my state of, I can't read and write, I know exactly what to do. It just sucks doing it. It sucks to do it. It sucks to wake up every morning of your life and say, God, man, I'm not smart. So guess what I gotta do? I gotta study the same shit that I got one of the highest scores in the nation. And again, it's not just there. It's not just there permanent. But now you're like, there's so many people that fail in this world. It just fucking sucks. And that's the one thing, if I could teach anybody anything, it just sucks. And then when you get to a special point in your life, then it might get a little bit better. But to lose them, wait, you have to lose, my friend? Sorry, Bob. You're gonna have to fucking suffer, man. It's how you get somewhere in life. This is your new life. Take it or leave it. There's no happiness about it. There's no peace behind it. It sucks. It just sucks. And that's the one thing, if I can teach anybody anything, it just sucks. And it's going to continue to suck. And then when you get to a special point in your life, then it might get a little bit better. But to lose the weight you have to lose, my friend. Sorry. How many months, hours, seconds, days, that shit you have wasted on people who suck the life out of you? Motherfucker, purpose is you. You can get that every day I wake up and I don't want to do something like shit. I'm like, okay, man, do you want to be a victim today? Do you want to feel like a little bit? Do you want to walk around all day knowing that you could, but you didn't? So it's perform without purpose. You have to learn how to get up and do shit. You ain't got no fucking 5K, no 10K, nothing. Nothing exists. Your life, it sucks. You're in a dungeon. But guess what? I'm still going to get it. Because when that time comes, because time is going to come, when that purpose is there, you'll be ready. Why am I not doing this for myself? Because that is the number one purpose in life, is to better oneself. So that's the only purpose I found. Everything I do in life, it sucks. Everything I do in life, it sucks. That's why when I was 300 pounds, 24 years old, it wasn't like I had some big epiphany of, let's just go be a Navy SEAL, let's lose some weight. No, I knew my entire life was going to be a struggle, which is why I just ignored it. And I said, I'm not even trying to jump off into this and learn how to read, how to write, how to memorize, how to become something I am not. But through that process, something happened. And I realized this is why I feel sorry. In this podcast, they're going to really not like me, because I am maybe dying, maybe thinking, or exaggerating. No. I was the lowest form on earth. No talent, no ability to learn, and I literally know what it is to rock bottom and to build that up. So that question about learning is a pain in my ass. And I don't have to do it. Just think about it. 49 years old and I'm a multi-millionaire. I don't have to do anything. So all I thought about when I was growing up is, man, I can't wait to one day get to the point where I no longer have to do this stuff. What happened when I got older, you get away with living. So how I do every day is how I do every day. It's a discipline, it's a regimen, it was a choice I made. And the choice I made was, what are you willing to sacrifice and what are you willing to give up to find every margin of need? And I was willing to give everything to do that. Not getting civilized is about having a savage mentality. It's a commitment. A lot of us say, like for instance, I see these athletes right now, I'm retired, I'm 38, I'm 39, I did 20 years at the top of my game, and I'm chilling out now. You see them a year later and how they look. What the hell is happening? What the hell? You're one of the greatest athletes of all time. Kids looked up to you, women, men of all ages looked up to you. And they hit the pinnacle or it's time to retire, and their mind says, wow, I'm civilized. The worst thing that could ever happen to any human being is they become civilized. It's that total accountability, like even when you retire, there's a mother looking at me and judging me right now, man. I was the baddest person to ever live. Doesn't go away, man. You gotta wake up, even though you're retired, you're not retired. You're setting the example every single day of your life. And being civilized feels so good. I'm sorry, man. Once you get to the top, you may retire, but you ain't never come back home, man. Because now you're judged. People see you falling off. You gotta be that guy who knows I may be retired from the sport, forever I did, but I'll be damned if you ever see me like shit, feeling like shit, not arriving. I've arrived. I've arrived mentality. Always setting the example. Civilization feels so good. These bad feelings are what people want. They want retirement. They want that. They need that. It's a yearning feeling. I want it too. People love to put a label on me about, my God, man, you're just wired different. I'm wired different, dude. I'm thinking right now, after I got past my stuttering thing, now I'm on a roll, I'm good now. You know what I'm thinking about right now? I gotta wake up tomorrow and do the same shit again. I gotta leave this interview and go stretch out for 2.5 hours. I hate that shit. And on top of it, it's something that you sample. It's something that you live in every day. Whenever hardness comes, and you know what it is, it may be different for you than it is for me. But you go back to your insecurities. And then you go back to insecurities and then look for cover. It was insecurities. And now look for that one to give you when you were sad. You were sick. Look for our life. Because it's in those moments you must retrain your mind to think differently in health. The mental state is
425.
It's so easy to be great nowadays, my friend, because most people are weak. Most people don't want to go to that extra mile. Most people don't want to find that extra because it sucks. It's mission. It's oh. You have to have the truth to have a starting point. And your true self is found in that very uncomfortable zone. We all look for toughness. We all want it, but we look for it in a comfortable environment. You will not find toughness in a comfortable environment.
Where do you go to? You wake up in the morning, it's cold, it's wet, it's dark, you've got no cartilage in your knee, you've got shorts, whatever it is that's the issue today. It's warm on the couch, your missus says stay in bed, it's comfy, it's cozy, you've got work later on, you had an argument last night, you're slightly hungover.
What? They ain't gonna do nothing. So this is how you love love. That's how you love love. Alright, I know there's a whole bunch of people. That right there, that fires me up. That makes me happy what you just said. That brings joy to my life right there. Why? Because I know there's so many people that have the ability and just refuse to get off that couch. Refuse to study a few more hours. Refuse to go deeper and to go further. And that's where I gain the advantage. It's so easy to be great nowadays, my friend. Most people are weak. Most people don't want to go that extra. Most people don't want to find that extra because it sucks. It's mission. It's lonely. You talk about that you were kind of, lonely by yourself. I was the same way. And
Yes, sir.
growing up, a lot of drive and mission. That's the only place to be. You have to be your best self and your least motivated. And that's the tricky part about all that. Motivation is just a word. You have to have these different things in your mind on where you want to go. And know that motivation is not going to get you there. I'm not going to always be motivated.
Jocko said the exact same thing. He said that discipline needs motivation for breakfast.
And discipline's good too. But without a clear headspace, there's no discipline. Discipline is great. Motivation's great. But if you can't get in your brain, because
25 minutes.
the biggest thing you have to do is shut off technology. You have to go dark. I love that is you have to be quiet in your mind and get away from people. I love being around people, love talking, love parties, love all that. It's okay to be alone. It's also okay to be unhappy. It's okay to be unhappy sometimes, man. It's okay to say, man, so you go to the truth first. Who are you? You have to be accountable. It's okay, who am I? What's the truth about me? Get to that dark place and figure out. It may take months, it may take years. Figure out your purpose, figure out what you want to be in life. And then from there, okay, I have my purpose. It may take a long time, and no one knows your purpose. Your purpose from there. You gotta start planning. People love the planning phase because it's very comfortable. And then from the planning phase, you gotta move to execution. So the execution phase will go ahead. Because that's where the work begins. Failure happens, and failure, and failure. That's kind of how you have to do it. Because every day is a battle. Every day is a battle. Your mind has to choose the path of least resistance. Every day. And you don't become better by become more better. And I don't want to be going. So, it may not be a life for everybody, but I found a lot of peace in
It's 500.
life.
What do you think most people get wrong about motivation?
They think that maybe once I get it, I'm gonna hold on to it. Nothing is permanent. Nothing is permanent. And a lot of times you have to learn to perform without motivation. And that's what people think. They think I need to have this motivation to work out, to study, to be better. So if they don't have it, they just don't do it. And that's where you fail. You have to learn to train your mind well beyond motivation. If you have motivation, that's great. That's some kindling to the fire. All it takes is a little bit, burn the whole forest up. But motivation, you have to learn to exist without it. You have to learn to be, you have to be your best self when you're the least motivated. Those people who are listening to this, you are not fighting. The only way you're fighting is to drown yourself in a position where you're just out of sorts, where you can't swim and you're drowning. You're drowning. And you say, man, that should come face to face with who you are. You have a starting point. It's in our head saying, man, dude, you're not doing shit. You're wasting a bunch of percentage here. In this other 80% is suffering, pain, failure, self-doubt, darkness, and then a whole bunch of light. But to get to this light, you gotta go through all of this shit.
I think we're in a culture that is driving everybody towards this idea that happiness is purchased through luxury, comfort, and ease.
And we want it very fast. If you don't see results in the first 2 days or first week, I'm done. That's the mentality of most people. Their struggle is too real. We're not patient. Like in a world where you can Google the best restaurants around me right now, no one is patient. And for you to lose weight, if you can stop drinking, if you whatever the hell you're going through, it takes a lot of patience, a lot of time, a lot of pitfalls, a lot of plateaus. You hit so many fucking plateaus, if you don't know how to get around that plateau, it's not going to happen fast.
Yeah, everybody wants to hack.
Yeah, everyone wants to hack. There is no hack, man. There's no hack.
What do you think is the biggest stumbling block that we face with this country?
Honestly, is they have the lowest needed talent. It's too hard. Life isn't fair. These things in life are not easy for me. You look to your left, you look to your right, you start to judge yourself on other people. Like if you're a female, well, she's skinny, she doesn't work out as well as I do, and everything starts to affect your mind. You start to look around too much at other people, what they're doing, and that starts to corrupt your own dialogue. We are judging ourselves against two people. You have to judge yourself against yourself. And that's the one thing I started learning, man. This isn't a race against me and Rich Roll. This is a race against David Goggins and David Goggins alone. And once you can silence all that, all the outside interference, things that are attracting your mind to everything, you can then start to grow and realizing I'm stressed out for no reason. This is an old little race. This is my own timeline, and this is how I'm gonna run it.
I think that so many people are so disconnected from themselves. They're operating on autopilot. They're reacting to their environment.
That's a big thing, man. And that's why it was important for me to finally realize, stop being unstable people I used to be, stop being afraid. There was no growth until I cut myself down to nothing, to the person I really was, the real human being. And once I found out who I really was, that's when I started growing. I was trying to build on top of a lie, the foundation. You can't build a house with the foundation. So I need to come down to the actual mineral soil of who I was. That's growth.
And what is the role that suffering plays in that? The willingness to suffer.
It starts to all those layers away. All those artificial layers away. If you're going to suffer and suffer, go back in the grind. That internal dialogue you have with yourself when you're in misery and you're uncomfortable, it's a real, scary, unfiltered, no lying dialogue between you and yourself. And people know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about when you're in a bad spot in life and your mind is saying all kinds of shit. That's who you really are. That's the real you. No Rocky Balboa moments going on up there. Hey, it's around 14. Let's talk about it. No, it's like, that's crazy. That's where the growth happens. Stay in that moment and talk to yourself. So back into the suck of whatever you're going through, and you start stripping those layers away. As you strip those layers away, you're building calluses over top of shit in your mind. That's when the growth starts to happen. It's when you have to force yourself to stay in it. You can't leave it. Every day suffering, being broken, duct tape my feet up, stress fracture, shin splints, being broken. This is my new home. And your mind says, if we're not broken, this ain't normal. We gotta be broken. So then your mind starts to get tougher and tougher and more calculated. How'd you want broken feet? Broken shins. My mind knew this is how we operate. We're Navy SEAL training. This is how I became hell. So you have to force yourself to stay in it. You can't leave it. Every day suffering, being broken, duct tape my feet up, stress fracture, shin splints, being broken. This is my new home. And your mind says, if we're not broken, this ain't normal. We gotta be broken. So then your mind starts to get tougher and tougher. And more calculated. How'd you want our broken feet? Broken shins. My mind knew this is how we operate. We're Navy SEAL training. This is who we are. I became hell. And that became my new norm. I gave myself my way out. There was nothing outside these walls of hell. Nothing. I loved God, but for a short period of time, I became the devil, because that was hell. I became the boss, the owner, the CEO of Navy SEAL training. That was my mindset. And that's how you get through things. So if you immerse yourself wherever it is, you become that. You become that. And give yourself no way. graduate Navy SEAL training, a lot of guys don't want to go back into that water. Don't want to go back into the hard stuff. When something sucks so bad in life, this is on this that we're talking about now. Very few people want to go back. They're happy they graduated. I realized I'm the same way. I don't want to go back. I have to go back. I must go back. Because that is exactly where all the knowledge of my life exists. Was back there in what you exactly talking about. Well, I already know anything about this. But how I grew up, Bill, was constantly doing these things. So now, it's just life. I wake up, while it still sucks, it's just life. You don't sit back. Like, I have days I don't want to do, but I know I'm years of just doing it. So that beautiful human beings need to hear this. They need to stop hearing these habits on this and that. There's no, you make this and that and saunas and all this shit that it's great. There is no life hack. To grow that thing, how do you grow it? Do it, and do it, and do it, and do it. That's the hack. The hack is gonna suck. And that's what I realized. So,
unchosen suffering is going to happen, right? So the only thing that you can do is have unchosen suffering to prepare for it.
it's the only thing you can do. That's the only thing you can practice for the unchosen suffering. Is that chosen suffering. Do something that sucks every day. I'm not trying to send a message of run 200 miles, be the best motherfucker in the world, but be tough. You better have a part about you that's tough, a part about you that can break down situations and get better. And break down situations very quickly within some trauma in your life, some devastation in your life, because it's going to come. The devastation, the trauma is going to come, and you can't allow that to become a Jersey barrier. It can't be a Jersey barrier. It has to be something that you can maneuver through very quickly. And that takes a lot of toughness. There are a lot of people, when you die, they figure out why you died. They figure out how you died in the autopsy. But we never do live autopsy to figure out why we're dying while we are alive. And I was dying. I was living every day. But I was really dead. And so I figured it out. And once I figured it out, I was able to reborn. I was able to be reborn. My problem in life was to mind of being the hardest man alive. And that's why the whole thing is you can't hurt me. That's what it's about. It's about whatever you think you are, you have to make that true. That's where the hard part is. It's making that true reality. That's where the hard work is. That's what people know. How do you keep grinding every day? You have to make those insecurities, those fears. Like when I was 300 pounds, I didn't have to drive. I'm going to be a Navy SEAL. What kind of stupid shit was that, 300 pounds? I was like a drive to be Navy SEAL. I was an insecure, lying kid, afraid. I had to look at my insecurities and in my fear and find drive in that. We're all looking for passion. Passion's all around you. You have a whole stack of it all around you. See the insecurities, all that shit. You gotta dive deeper in that shit. It's all in there. All the energy and fuel you need is right in yourself. It's all there. You got a lot of stuff to do to overcome. And that's where I found it. I found it right there in my own insecurities. I found drive in my own insecurities. That's the most powerful thing in the world. When you can find drive in your own doubt, fear, insecurities, you become very unstoppable. But if you hate me, if you are better, but like me, stay the same. A lot of us are foolish. I was one of those people back in the one day. And sometimes I'm still foolish. We think that we're working hard. You know, we've been working out hard in the gym for a month. But we haven't seen any results. So we get all put down and poopy pants and shit. You study for 30 minutes for a test. And you didn't doing the work. You have to do more. You gotta stop telling yourself that you're doing enough. In life, it's never enough until you feel this overwhelming feeling of, man, I'm outworking the crowd. I'm outworking everybody. I'm doing more. It's not until then. Once you get there, that's when you've done enough. Stay hard.
Mostra um pouquinho. Roll cupcake?
Nothing just like, oh, I wake up and I just do this, I do that. It just, I watch people every day go back. It's so easy. For me to be where I'm at today, it takes every so nice to think about it. And I get going here, you'll start seeing me drunk. The passion will come out because I'm backward. I'm doing what I do every day to become into me. And so nothing is easy. Like running is running. It sucks. You have a choice to make. Do you want to sit down and go back to that guy you once were? No. So this is what it takes. This is what it takes, that misunderstanding of people, and you'll never get it because they never gave guidance. So that is what it takes for me to do what I do. You may take yourself differently. It's very ugly. There's no passion. There's no fucking motivation. It's every day of your life just doing. To get into the class I had to get into, I was 106 pounds in less than 3 months. So I was like, fuck that, I can't do that. I grabbed a chocolate milkshake and went back to Eagle Lab. I'm going back to work, man. This is my life. So in this job, you're looking for cockroaches, you're looking for rodents. I don't like cockroaches too much. I eat them more than cockroaches. And this restaurant got full of cockroaches and rodents and everything else. And I sat there and said, this is my life. I said, this is my life. You're exactly the perfect set. This is it. This ain't gonna be it. So in that restaurant, I quit my job, my canister in that restaurant, my spray canister, got back in my Eagle Lab truck, and I went home. And I started looking out like somebody. I became the most obsessed person on the planet Earth. And I was basically, I had to invent a guy that didn't exist. I had to invent a guy that could take any pain, any suffering, any kind of judgment, that be called whatever the fuck in the world, to be able to stand in a room and say, go yourself. I had built this callous mind, and I built it through suffering. I built it through downright and just crushing myself. If it was raining outside, 3 o'clock in the morning, if it was snowing, the first thing I think is don't go out there and do shit. My instinct was, we gotta go out there. Anything that was horrible in my life that I would please say no, that was inhumane in most people, I did. And I started callousing my mind at this point. And I lost the weight. I lost the weight and I went back to the career. I got into that class and I did 3 negative heroics in 1 year. Only I ever be in 3 heroics in 1 year to my knowledge. Unfortunately, I could do the next 2 I did. And that I just didn't I didn't stop it anymore from there. And I started realizing through this process that the fuck mind is what you create. And I started opening different doors that I didn't think were even there, that I didn't think even existed. And the more doors opened up, the more I started realizing that my potential was damn near endless. And it changed my whole mindset. So I went from David Goggins and I created Goggins. And that journey is a priceless journey that is hard for me to even explain to people because it sounds so quick and easy. Like I lost this weight and I went through 3 elements, I went to medical school, went to Delta Force Select, whatever it is. It was brutal. It's a brutal journey every fucking day. Everyone's like, are you happy? If anybody knows my life story, I try to give you just a snippet of it. For days in front of Joe Rogan telling you my life. To get through where I became, to get through where I'm at now, there's nothing but pride I have for myself that I can't really show up. But I have a space that they see. Are you happy? What's wrong with you? Driven, obsessed. And that's what you see. I can't get this paragraph. I can't remember what this paragraph to pass this test to get a military. Read again. I'm not getting it. Read again. When you're not getting it, write it out. And that's how I started running. I can't swim. I'm negative buoyant. Go back again. I can't swim. Go back again. Go back again. Go back again. I got it. I realize if I keep going back, and going back until the shit just becomes like, and I would say, okay, we're gonna figure it out. Because he is not going to stop. It's not like, try one more time. No. It's just like, alarm clock goes off, going back. I can't read right, but going back. I gave myself no way out, and my mind realized that. They said, okay, we're gonna adapt and overcome now. A lot of us want to find peace first. So you say, baby, I don't think about this suffering and pain and shit. I'm at peace right now. Do that. Don't find peace first. If you do, Merry Christmas. More power to you. I found peace on the opposite end of finding myself. And when he finds himself without going through trials, tribulations, suffering, accountability. And accountability is suffering. You're being accountable every day for doing right for yourself, for the people next to you. It's miserable. I watched this segment on TV about these guys going through Navy SEAL training. And I couldn't even, I wasn't a great swimmer, I was afraid of the water, all this crap, man. I saw these guys quit. But at the very end, it says 22 guys, there's commanding officers up there, and he gives this great speech. So I started visualizing me being the 23rd guy, sitting there with these guys. I said, man, if I could nail that, that would change my life. I wanted to win. Not like beat somebody else. It wasn't about that. I just wanted to go the distance. Everything in my life was something got hard, I quit. I didn't work harder than you, so I quit. Like, man, if I could just go that distance, that extra mile, to just go, just to finish. I want to finish. I want to feel victory. Victory for me wasn't winning, it was just finishing. So I said, you know what? If I could feel what these guys feel, it would change my life. And literally, I started feeling victory just by putting myself in the battle. I started realizing, man, just by going to war with myself every day and putting these challenges, these goals, these obstacles, these insurmountable obstacles, now we can move from there. But you look at it as, man, I'm broken and I'm still here. And I'm fighting. I'm going to find a way to get through this. Because I have no other place to go. It gives you a lot of power. And no one really finds himself without going through trials, tribulations, suffering, accountability. And accountability is suffering. Being accountable every fucking day, you do it right for yourself and the people next to you. The more I gain confidence, and then the more I gain confidence, the more I realize, these Navy SEALs, man. These guys can't do what I'm doing right now. I had no coach, had no trainer, had no money. I didn't know how to lose weight. I had no knowledge of what I was doing. I was just working. I was just sacrificing. But I would have never found these tools if I didn't put myself in a very comfortable place. And your true self was found in that very uncomfortable. That's where he came from. He came from all these different obstacles, and now he's there. So in other words, how do you do that? You know exactly how to do it. So basically, I can't account for everything. But I do know there could be some things that come up in life that you need to be ready for. I know for a fact I'm going to work out tomorrow. Therefore, I'm preparing my mind for that. I don't want to do that. I know tomorrow there comes some difficult decisions to make. It may come with getting a phone call saying someone died, this happened, that happened. I'm always preparing myself, not in a morbid way, but just a look, man, be ready for life. Don't let life just start attacking you left and right. Make sure that you start to build a mental armor so then you're ready for life. And that comes with a very simple way. And the physical knows how to mental. I realized at a young age that changed myself into discipline. In the military, they didn't teach me that. Some of those had zero discipline. It's zero self-discipline. And I realized I have to start developing this. And I started really because I was horrible at reading. And I was horrible at writing. I have so
900.
many disabilities, it's not even funny. So I just sit down to take and spend so much time in this reading and writing and learning. And that kind of translates over to my self-discipline with the working out. So that's where it started. I started when I was 16 years old and said, well, I'm a fourth grade reading level. Let me go ahead now and start really focusing because I'm not going to get in the military because I got to pass the test. Yeah, so that's where it started for me. It's more important to own your weaknesses. You have to really triple down on those, man. Because why? You want to become a full human being. You like to run away from weaknesses. Like, for instance, if you're great at running, all you want to do is run. If you're great at reading, you have several books. Little things that you're not good at. So for me, I realized, like, I can't run away from these things I'm not good at. I have to dive into these things. I have to become one with these things. And that's what happened then. So I own them both. And I talk very openly about both. I see a whole bunch of people walking around out here with have no idea how talented they truly are. I'm talking about talent, like some guy that has talent that sometimes you have to hone to work on. You have to manage yourself. And just walk around with this phone, just clueless to how powerful they are. Put these things in as reminders that you're going to have to suffer, man. This fucking 0.25 is, man, you're going to have to suffer to go from this bad, insecure motherfucker to one of the best guys on the planet Earth. This journey is going to take something that is going to be incomprehensible to most people. And these different visualizations, how I visualize them, and my self-talk, it became so nasty and dirty that I almost liked the fact that I went 0.25. So it became from being defeated to like, man, I'm a maybe more than 0.75. It just became this different mindset. I turned negatives into positives. So I would take like, who would even think about doing this? So I just like I was saying, 297. Who can't fuck doing that great? Who's scared of water? We have the balls. We have the balls to stand up, quit a job, and go and put everything on yourself. So it's how I started talking to myself and put myself in a whole different category. That would fuel me the next day. And I just kept using that as fuel. Don't do this shit. Don't do this shit. You're the best one around. You're the best one ever lived. And I just kept fueling me with the right kind of message that I needed to hear that I was never telling myself. And through time, it became reality to myself. There were so many times in my life growing up I wanted to fit in. And I wanted to be part of a group. And I didn't have any heart. And I didn't have that desire. So when you're trying to fit in and you're trying to be cool, you're trying to be whatever the hell you are, not having that internal dog, that fight, all things get harder in life, all you do is quit. When you have that internal in you, like I've developed for a lot of years,
975.
there's a dog. It's
For the
going to get built up in you, this fire, this warrior. And when things get difficult, you may not make it, but you come back. I wanted to be one of the 1%ers, not the 99%. I realized I had one life to live, and I have to live it. There's not two lives, there's one life. And all these things started happening to me. And then once that started happening, man, everything flipped. But that internal, it starts to make a voice in you that never you to sleep in. There are times, take days, you know that you're behind. It just keeps you in check. Throughout everything you're doing, like it's just not allowed to make. But if you go back and forth the diamond streets and then your voice, that it's okay.
Up the reps too.
It's always okay.
But
If I would have had you, it would have been okay. Do what I'm doing. So that was everything. It's a training ground. While you may live a long life, doesn't mean you graduated at the top of the class. You just lived a long, boring, despicable life. And that's not what I want to do.
$1,000 down.
Committed to something.
Rock this, so long. Subscribe, tap in. We here every day.